I wasn't expecting to do this job this year, but because I covered Sarah last year while she was on maternity leave. And then I got a surprise phone call when I was over in France from BSBI to say, would I come back again? And I said, not until the end of February, because I don't want to ruin my holiday. And I put this first picture up here because that's where I spend at least 80% of my time in my botany study, or the hub for Parish Botany. And I always think on Monday mornings, perfect. I know what I'm going to do all week. I have it all mapped out. Within an hour, everything changes. And usually what I was going to do that week doesn't happen. And some days the telephone never stops. And I think, oh, not that phone again. And even this week, I had a phone call. Somebody wanted to know how to, could I tell them how to stop badgers to stop digging up their lawn? and I said to her, I don't think that's under my job description. She goes, but isn't grass a plant? And so that's the sort of conversation sort of finished. And I thought, that's interesting. And then I get lots of people sort of just ring up for a chat and a heart to heart. And I think sometimes I'm an agony uncle rather than the Ireland officer. So I never know what the phone call is going to lead to. But as my job is funded by National Parks and Wildlife Service, and I have to do at least three presentations a year. And I did one the other week for Heritage Week, and that was really rewarding because we had 40 people come along, and that was their best attended talk in Wexford Heritage Week. And I always find when I'm doing a presentation, I never quite know what's going to pop out of my mouth because I practice these talks hour after hour. And when I said full salt clips are like cowslips and steroids, I had no idea where that came from. And I've done a podcast for Weekly, and that's on YouTube, so you can go and listen to that if you want. But they surprised me because they said, when can you do one? I said, today, or not for a while. So they gave me like an hour's notice, gave me a couple of questions they said they need answering, and then we just chatted away. And I'm opening an art display later next month. And also part of the funding, I have to do lots of ID training days, or they're meant to be about 3 a year. So this group down in Ardmore said when I come down, and it's a 4-kilometre coastal loop walk. And I think they were really shocked that we had 175 plants, but I only taught them how to do ID the ones flowering. So you can expect the public to do grasses and all those dull little things. But we had greater than that week. I thought I'd died out from the site. Yeah. And that's only one of 4 sites left in County Waterford, so it's quite good to think it's still there. But they have done a lot of destruction when they put the coastal path in. We had a great day doing Zostera, Salicornia, and Atroplax, and all other coastal plants. And that Salicornia pusilla, that's our first county record in Waterford since 2008, when we had our AGM and autumn meeting at the Biodiversity Data Centre in Waterford. So that was quite good. And that Salicornia ramosissima times pusilla, that was a new county record. So that was even more exciting. And on that picture in the bottom left-hand corner, we're all standing on the Zostera because there's so much there. But I had to say, I'm really embarrassed because when I was there in 1997, recorded for Atlas 2000, I couldn't work out which Zostera I was looking at. So I didn't record it. So it never got recorded. But you had to hunt for the eelgrass. Now the Zostera is all over the salt marsh, and it's just acres and acres, and they both grow together. When they're mixed in together, it's so obvious which one's which. You don't need to get the books because we keyed them out and all sorts. They're really hard to separate by using all the descriptions. But the jizz, they just look different when they're together. And then they were a really keen group, and we got to that creek, and the tide was coming in, and I kept thinking, we've got to turn around before. And they all wanted to go on, so I said, 20 minutes, half an hour. So off we went and paddled across the creek, and we had a few more Salicornias, so it was really worth going on. And then we did Rupia on the way back. They made me climb down this really steep bank to get some specimens. And then one of them told me they had a grapnel we could have just thrown into the water. And this was one of the most exciting finds of the year, the mountain pansy, because I'd never seen it in Ireland, and I got a phone call when I come and see it, because this chap the owners put a picture up on social media. Nobody in Ireland took any notice, and Jenny Seawright from England said, "Oh, contact Paul Green here, come and look at it." So I've also went one Sunday morning, but it was a bit like a hide and seek, because the father had just died and the brothers had inherited the land, and one wanted to plant it with conifers, and put a holiday village there and make money out of it. And his other brother wanted to have it for wildlife. So luckily, it's now going to be part of the SAC, but it butted right up to it. So the green, that picture in the top right hand corner, that green grass is the field where the pansy grows, and the green grey grass at the top is the SAC. So they just extended the SAC. It's the most amazing site. And this was one I asked National Parks and Wildlife Service, could I go and survey the cluster clover? Because I'm sure I can find 2 more sites for us. But the golf course wouldn't give me permission to go on the land, so I went down at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's why these photos look a bit dark. you can see there's a green fence. You see my little blue car, so I couldn't get to the fence, but I thought there's one little stretch of hedge. Well, I can get through a hedge. There's lots of brambles, so I could get in there. So I crept in and crawled around. There was about 1,000 plants of the cluster clover, so it was worth going in. And now I found 2 new sites this year, 2 last year. So Wexford's got quite a lot of that cluster clover. And I just got out of the car park and back to the car as all the golf course staff members came in. So it was sort of that added to the thrill at the end of seeing it. So, and we went up into the Conroe Mountains to survey the miniature recurva. And it looks wild up there, and it is, but it's only an hour and a half walk from the car park directly below it, and the miniature grows on that rock face up above me in that left-hand corner. We had 57 plants this year. And when I was there in 2008, that was a BSBI meeting, we had 67 plants. And in 2015, they had 27 plants. It just seems strange. Every time someone's counted, it's always been 7 in the figure. And I do think when I saw it in 2008, did I actually write 67 down and really mean 57? But we had a great day up there looking for it. And we were in for like a lot of punishment. So we went on up into the plateau and surveyed this Alpine club moss. And I got one of my little botany kits because I'd never seen a Waterford before. So all the sites had 10-figure grid reference, so we could literally walk straight to them. We counted them and was sort of stunned to find there was 538 plants, because that was an increase of 433. And we found a new population. So in sort of 7 years, it really had multiplied. But it's one of those plants that benefited because all that bare ground in the picture on the left, that used to be covered in peat. The peat's all eroded and disappeared because of overgrazing. So the club moss is one of the plants that's actually benefited from overgrazing bush sheep. But it's really a fantastic site. I was lucky to attend 3 BSBI meetings, so I did want to do a few more, but I seem to have a lot of work to do. So we had some stunning views, lots of great company, and lots of great plants. And that picture on the bottom right-hand corner, any of you with sort of naughty little minds, Anne and I aren't up to what you think we are. We're sort of got our little torches out, and we're looking at the brometophyte stage of Killarney Fern, and it looks just like green velvet on the rocks. And that was the first rapid encounter Eastcourt for quite a few years. And I had the most amazing day out with Alison Evans and Roger Golding. We look at all these Dryapis ferns, what we will be seeing later on today. But you can see nearly every one that occurs in Ireland in about 100-metre stretch of road. It's really just incredible. And we went up over the V into Tipperary, and Alison showed us all this Dryapis cariensis, and Paul is there looking at Dryapis cambriensis. And so it was really educational. And I had to help sort of try to arrange new VCRs, and by pure chance, Tanya Slattery put her name forward to come Limerick record and take over from Sylvia. We have quite a lot of Zoom chats between us now, so she's done an amazing job. And Eamon just likes more work, so he's now taken on over from the late Don Cotton. And he's also joint recorder for Limerick, so Eamon works super hard. And then we had no VCR for Waterford for about 5 years, and 3 come along at once. So Julie Larkin, Andrew Malcolm, and Anne Trimble. So they've been fighting some amazing rare plants in Waterford. So it's embarrassing for me to thinking I should have found those when I was the county recorder. We've had some really good aquatic plant training days. They've been much better organised this year. It just seemed to be working better. And I attended 3 of them. I went along to the first one Killian did, and Claire. He showed us Botanic and Alpine, the spread pondweed. So I got excited again because that was a new plant on my life list. And then we saw it twice. We saw it twice in one day, so there was lots of it. And then when you're out with Nick Stewart, you never quite know where he's going to disappear to because he likes. And that was the most dirty, disgusting looking drain you walk down into. And then there wasn't any aquatic plants in it. But they really are educational. If you've not been to any of them, they're well worth going along. So I always learn so much when I'm on them. I think I should have already known that before. But and then I have to suffer and go to staff training meetings once a month. Well, they're done by Zoom, so they're not too bad. But we had to go over to Wales for our annual get together. Our boss thought, let's just have half a morning. We're only have half an hour morning botany. Otherwise, we had to do brainstorming. But the garage is just amazing for rare plants, and that Goldilocks aster, we were trying to find it, and we sort of walked by it before we realised we were looking at it. The two of those members in that picture, Julie and Jim, are both in the audience, and you better meet them both later. Do you want to stand up, Julie, and just show yourself, and Jim, just so people know that? I just embarrassing them, so. Just like to say thanks for listening. So we still got space in our aquatic plant project training day tomorrow along the canals. If anybody wants to come out, there is a handout somewhere on one of those tables. And I'm just advertising our spring conference next year on the 25th of March. And we're going to have a long 4-day meeting down in Port, organised through Claire Herdman. So we're getting nicely organised for next year. So I stop there.